Hello, gents and ladies. These are my diagrams today. Eric Anderson here. I've shown you before how to pick a master lock number 532, and I'll show you again. Only today, I really do want to explain just how it's done. So I'm locking the lock, the 532 here, and closing it up. But see, here's my nice little drafting diagram of the lock. Can't you see everything there? Isn't it pretty? Yes. Okay. This is a 5-pin lock, so when we're picking a lock, we're going in and we're manipulating the bottom of each pin with our pick, right? But normally, let's say we're coming in from this side, so let's say the key opening's over here, right? We're usually going to come in and pick from the back and start out by picking this pin first. Back pin, and then move to the next pin, the next pin, the next pin. All the while, it's important, you know, for here, we have our torsion wrench putting torque on the opening of the keyhole. And that is because when we put torque on the opening of the keyhole here, it creates a little ledge which the top pin can rest on when you push the bottom pin up enough for that divide between the bottom pin and the top pin to reach that shear line between the cylinder, which is a tumbler, and the pin, the regular housing of the pin. So you're going to create that little edge between this tumbler and the housing, and that's where the top pin's going to rest once you've put up the bottom pin enough to set the pin. That's what it's called when this pin on top is locked into place. When it's set on this shear line and is ready, for the tumbler to spin and open the lock. So what we start out with is, for one of these pins in this 5-pin lock, we've got this. You see, here's the shear line, and we're putting torque on our tumbler in this direction, clockwise direction. But we're coming in with our pick, and we're poking the bottom of this pin up until it reaches that shear line and sets right along on the same line as those two pins are divided, with the shear line between our tumbler and our lock. Okay, so what it happens to be with the 532 is that it's a 5-pin lock. And this lock is exceptionally easy to pick simply because it takes just a little tap of each pin and very little feeling whatsoever. Many other locks you're going to have to loosen up your torque and allow false set pins to drop down, but with this you're really just going to have to lightly touch each pin until it sets into place. So let me try and pick this for you now. Usually takes me 1 or 2 attempts, but let me give it a go. Okay, figure I'm going to put my camera here. 1 second. Here. So I have the lock, and I place my torsion wrench within the keyhole. There, you see? Now the key to all lock picking is in this torsion wrench, how much pressure you put on it. Right now I'm putting pressure in a clockwise fashion, and I'm just going to put a light amount of pressure and start with this lock. Incidentally, I'm going to start with the first pin, and then just poke each pin up until I get all the way to the back. And I've kind of felt the pins through now, but they're not all set, so I've done something wrong. Right now, I'm going to start over. I'm just going to let the pins go back to where they were. I'm going to go back through and feel each pin go up. And each of those pins does go up, and the lock will turn. I need to change the degree I have written down from 50. I want to put 80 degrees, because that's how much this will turn. Just short of 90 degrees, it looks like. But as you can see, I went through, and with this lock, incidentally, normally we pick from back to front, move from the back to the front. I mean, this is just a traditional thing. Some locks just work to be picked better from back to the front. This one, however, it works better to be picked from the front to the back. I mean, it's just going to be a thing for each individual lock. Different locks have different personalities, different tactics to pick them. But this lock, it happens to take just a light touch to each pin from the front to the back, and that light touch will open the lock. However, I don't always have that light touch. but sometimes I do. So this is a pretty nice looking lock, right? I mean, that's what I thought when I bought it. I said, this is a nice looking lock. It should be challenging to pick. It should be something that I can learn from. But I learned an even more interesting lesson from it, and that is, nice looking locks are not difficult to pick. They can look as nice as this, and they won't be difficult. But that's true for master locks. Master locks are surprisingly easy to pick, as the people will tell you on the comments from my other videos. I hope this has helped you out, so send any questions my way or make a video response. See you on YouTube.